Hi, this is Brett Ingram, entrepreneur and award-winning product creator, and today I want to share with you the perfect job description template for hiring freelancers and outsourcers. At one time or another, we all need to build our teams if we want to be able to grow our businesses. Outsourcing and hiring freelance talent can be a great way to do that. Now, like everything else in business, the challenge is there is a learning curve, and it does take practice to get good at hiring. But it's a vital skill because the quality of the team that we create determines the quality of the business. A business is only as good as the people that are working in it. So on another episode, I had shared my process that I learned through trial and error and lots of wasted time and money in hopes that you could avoid those problems. So I laid out a 6-step process that I use when I'm going to be doing any kind of hiring for outsourcing. And this was years in the making. And it was something that, I've hired dozens and dozens and dozens of people over lots and lots of years. And in the very beginning, I was terrible at it. But I learned a lot throughout the process of making the mistakes. And I sort of put it together into a simple 6-step process. And I shared that on a different episode. Now I want to switch gears a little bit on this one. And I want to share with you the perfect job description template. So again, this has evolved from my very first job postings, which were super general. A couple of lines and maybe a summary about what it is that I'm looking for with very little detail at all. And with each hit and miss that I had in hiring, basically what happened was over the years, I've tweaked and adjusted it to make it as close to perfect as possible. So every time that I hired somebody and I made a mistake, and I realized, that's something I could have screened for, I added that into the job description. Anytime that I hired somebody and I got something I wasn't expecting that I liked, I added that into the job description. So anytime that I came up with any new realization about either the job, the role, or people in general, and their skill set, I put it into the job description. And so, one job description obviously doesn't fit all. You need to adjust it for whatever you're doing. But by going through the job description, you'll see exactly what the thought process is for how to construct the perfect one. You're welcome to use this one. But if you're hiring for other roles, you're going to need to adjust it, but you'll understand exactly how it all fits together and why each thing is in there the way that it is. So the job description, even though we aren't hiring full-time employees, is vital. And, some people might think, well, isn't that overkill? I mean, I'm going to make a job description for a freelancer that I'm going to hire for, $10 an hour to do, 5 jobs or whatever. Absolutely. And the reason is when you put down a job description and you do that, the first thing that it does for you as a benefit is it helps crystallize your own thoughts and crystallize your own needs about what it is you need. I've gone into hiring people and I've had one idea about what I needed. When I actually started to lay it out and I actually started to think about it, what I realized is some of this stuff I don't really need, and there's other stuff that I hadn't thought of that I do need. And if I don't put that stuff in the job description, what are the odds that I'm going to get it? Very low. And once you've hired somebody and they don't have the skill you need or can't do the one job or don't like doing the job or aren't good at the job that you need done, well, now you have a problem because you got somebody who can do some of the stuff, but they can't do all the stuff. And so, you're like, if I had just hired the right person in the first place. And so around and around we go. And so I've found that it's vital. And, when I shortcut this process, I pay the price. I pay the price with hires that miss the mark. And it's why I've created this, and it's why I've evolved it and tweaked it and optimized it over time. And it's why I want to share it with you, because I feel as though if you get a sense of the mindset of how to create this, it'll help you with all of the hiring you do from here on out. So it's worth spending a few minutes extra up front to create a job description to be sure that we get the right person for the job. Now, the example that we're going to go through is actually for a virtual admin, which, coincidentally, is one of the most common hires. So there's a chance, even if it isn't right now, that if you're hiring, you'll eventually need an admin or a virtual admin. So great. This will hit the mark exactly for that, or at least close. There might be some things about your situation that need to be edited, but it'll be pretty close. But even if you're looking for something completely different than that, it's the process of understanding how we create this that will help make it so you could do it yourself for anything that you want to create. So it does apply to any job or any role, and I'll explain that as we go through it. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to lay out exactly what we need in terms of what the job is and what the requirements are going to be and everything else. And this falls into 4 categories. The 4 categories, the first one is the job summary or the role. This is the bird's eye 10,000 foot view of what the actual job summary and role is. And I'm going to share with you the actual description. So we're going to go through all this, but I want you to understand the framework for what it is that needs to be in the job description to make it effective. So the job summary or role is basically just a general understanding. It's something that if I were a candidate, if I look at that, it should let me know whether or not it's worth keep reading. So it should weed me right out if I'm not the right fit, and it should weed me in if it's something where I feel as though, okay, maybe I don't have all the responsibilities, but this is in my wheelhouse. Let me check out the rest of the detail. So that's sort of the overall thing that you're looking for. And that's super important just because that plus the title is going to attract the right kind of candidates to you when you're posting it. The second thing that we need is we need the tasks and responsibilities. This is the actual stuff, the actual bullets of day-to-day work. This paints the picture for the person of exactly what they're going to be doing on a daily basis while they're getting paid. And for us, selfishly, the benefit it gives us is, again, it allows us to really think through what we want this person to be able to do. It also gives us a very good understanding of how much time commitment we're looking at. I've gone into jobs where I thought, okay, I need somebody full-time for this. When I start to lay it out, I realize there just aren't enough tasks there. You know what I mean? This is going to be maybe 10 hours a week, not 40. And so it helps us avoid overpaying for something we don't need. If you hire somebody for 40 hours a week and you only give them 10, it's not going to last very long. Either they're going to want to get paid full-time for work that they're not doing, or they're going to leave for another job because they were looking for something full-time. And so it's better to vet all that, think that through up front, and understand what exact tasks are we going to have them doing on a daily basis. The third thing that we need is we need to consider what performance or results that we want. So yes, they're going to be doing tasks, and that's important, but also what are the standards? How are they being evaluated? What are we looking at and saying, you did a good job, you aren't doing well enough? How can we judge that if we don't share up front what those standards are? Also, how do we know that we're getting what we need if we haven't thought through at what level we need it? So for example, if it were a customer service job, maybe it would be, we need all tickets answered within X number of hours from when they come in. The task might be answer all the tickets, but the performance result is within 6 hours. So that way the person knows you're not going to be able to moonlight doing another job while you're getting paid for this, because you got to be on it. You've got to be answering these tickets and resolving them. If it was, virtual admin type stuff, and maybe they're typing up emails or something, maybe it's, 60 words a minute typing, or, whatever it is. But there have to be some kind of, I need you to create, 6 emails a day that are going to go out for promoting my affiliate products. Or I need you to create 4 graphic designs, an e-cover, a header graphic, and this and that every single day, or 6 of these a week. So they understand exactly what it is, and you also then can quantify what that's worth to you. If you know that this person can do that, and normally you pay $200 per graphic design, you could figure out exactly what that's worth to you. And if you could do it with an outsourcer for cheaper, it's worth outsourcing. So there's a lot of benefits to really thinking through what the performance measures and the results that we're looking for actually are. And then the fourth element of it is the requirements and the skills. This is what they need to bring to the table to be successful. Now, these can be hard skills like Adobe Photoshop or, Adobe After Effects or Microsoft Word or Google Drive or whatever it is. They could be hard skills like that, or they could be more attitudinal and behavioral. Self-starter, responsible, somebody who is proactive and looks for extra stuff to do when there's nothing given to them. Somebody who will take the initiative, get things done, solve problems when they come up. I've hired people in the past, and one of my biggest frustrations when I hire somebody is when a problem comes up and they come to me and dump the problem on me. They don't have any suggestions. They don't have any thoughts. They don't have any ideas for how to solve it. They just come and unload the problem. I'm busy, I'm doing my own stuff, and I've hired you, right, to go out and do things for me. And then you come to me with all these extra problems. Problems arise. There's no issue with that. But, maybe come to me with a proposed solution or something that you've thought through or some alternatives, or at least ask me what process I'm going to follow to solve this so I can do it for you next time. So I want to see that proactivity. A big one for me is someone that's going to be a fast learner. That for me is a requirement. It's a skill, because I don't want to teach the same thing 4 and 5 times. If I'm happy to teach how to do something, but then I want the person to be able to pick it up, run with it, and go. And so we need to think through the requirements and the skills. So again, people can weed themselves in and out, and we can weed them in and out by asking questions about those skills. And so when we have all 4 of those things, we now have a complete composite picture of what we need, and we give candidates a clear idea of what the job will be like. So right out of the gate, we're already ahead of the game. Now let's break down this actual job description so we can see exactly what goes into it and how this all works. So again, we're talking about a virtual admin type role. So the summary or the role is that I use is looking for a versatile, organized, efficient, and proactive multitasking executive assistant rock star to do a wide range of tasks and projects in a fast-paced entrepreneurial environment. I am a busy online entrepreneur, always exploring new marketing and growth opportunities in addition to keeping current business stuff going. You must be comfortable learning new things and rolling up your sleeves to get stuff done. Now, it might sound like a long job description or a long summary, and I understand that, but let's break this down because there's some really important stuff. Versatile, organized, efficient, and proactive. Right there, I'm nailing right out of the gate that the kind of personality I want somebody to have, right? If they aren't able to work in a fast-paced environment, they aren't able to do that kind of stuff, they're not great. And then I use words like rock star because that just automatically associates people with high performance. If I'm a high performer, I consider myself a rock star. If I'm not, then I don't. And so I'd shy away from this. If that's me and I know that, this is going to be a performance environment and I love that, that's going to be music to my ears. So that's the reason I put that stuff in there and why I use the word rock star in there specifically. To do a wide range of tasks and projects in a fast-paced entrepreneurial environment. I want them to know this isn't a 9-to-5 job where you're going to sit at a desk and punch the clock, right? Things are going to be moving. Things are going to be changing. It's going to be dynamic, right? It's not going to be the same thing every single day. And because it's entrepreneurial, that means it's small. That means everybody has to pull their share of the load. And I'm busy, so I'm not going to be standing over you telling you each and every day what exactly you need to do. I'm going to give you the general idea and I need you to go with it. I'm always exploring new marketing and growth opportunities in addition to keeping current business stuff going. So what I'm telling them is the pace is going to stay fast, and it's going to be the jobs and the roles and the tasks are going to be dynamic. They're going to change. What you're doing today might not be what you're doing tomorrow. So you must be comfortable learning new things because in an entrepreneurial environment, rolling up your sleeves to get stuff done. We're looking for someone who's a doer. We're looking for someone who is able to step in, and you can see how that paints a picture of the type of person we're looking for. Now, at the end of the summary, I have this is a long-term position, and you'll play a very important role in my business. You'll work directly with me on lots of things, so you'll have an opportunity to learn the business and grow. Now, why do I put that stuff in there? because I want them to know that this isn't just a quick, like, in and out, you earn your few bucks and then you leave. I'm looking for someone who has a long-term mentality that wants to build a relationship and be part of something bigger than that. That's why I put that in there. It's a long-term position. You'll be a very important role. I want them to understand their value because it is really important, and it is something that I want them to have pride in. I don't want them to feel like they're just an outsourcer, they don't really matter. Because some people treat outsourcers and freelancers that way. And in my business, I don't do it that way. You'll work directly with me on lots of things. So you'll have an opportunity to learn. I want them to know that as the CEO, as the business owner, I'm doing a lot of stuff. And because they're going to have a lot of contact with me, they're going to gain valuable experience just by being in the environment. That's worth a lot to people. It was worth a lot to me. When I worked in companies and I had an opportunity to work with executive management and the CEO and things like that, I always loved that because I got to see how they handle things. I got to see how they do things, how they operate, how they run their day to day. And that is super valuable to the right kind of person. So that's the general summary. That right there is going to weed a lot of people out. It's going to put a lot of people in. But isn't that a little bit more powerful than I need an executive admin to handle a bunch of stuff for my business? I mean, which job description is going to get the better, more qualified candidates? There's no question. I know it because I've actually posted both types. And the other type, the sort of lackluster, lame type, doesn't produce good results. So now when we switch to responsibilities, what I have is full range of tasks and projects, including, but not limited to. And I always start it that way because I don't want them to ever think that the job description is static. I always reserve the right to change, to add, to delete, to move, to whatever. And so it's going to be all of this stuff, but I might be adding more to it also. Manage my email inbox, organize my media and assets in shared folders, document and mind map the process for all repeatable tasks. This one is a really big one for me, and I do this with every hire. I want them to take ownership of the process of whatever it is they're doing and document and evolve that process. Why? Because A, it helps me look at it and see if there are ways it can be done better. And B, it helps me, if they ever leave, to replace them because I have the process that I need in place for what needs to be done. If everything is stored up here with people that you hire, when they leave, so does your whole business. If everything is documented, it's very easy to go back, reference that, make whatever tweaks you need, hire somebody else, give that to them and say, this is how you handle the task. Manage and send daily promotional emails to my list. Research and or collect data on various topics. So I'm giving them some broad stuff here, right? Clone, set up, edit ClickFunnels pages. So some website stuff. But notice it's not web development. Product funnel updates in JVZoo. General online product launch prep tasks. So again, some of these things are very general, but I'm giving them an idea of the breadth. Text, chat, Skype with affiliates to get them links and the info they need for our launches. Create PDFs for marketing and training files. Coordinate with other team members to keep projects on schedule. So I even want them to be a liaison in some ways. And just about anything else I need help with. So I throw that in there as sort of a, hey, whatever else I need. Document and create a process for everything that we do repeatedly. So we have an easy way to keep doing it over and over. All that stuff is built right into the tasks, right into what is expected of them in terms of what they need to do in their tasks and responsibilities. So very explicit, general where I need to be, but I list all the things I might have them do. And I also list the fact that there may be more I just haven't thought of yet, or that may evolve and become things. Results. Okay, so this is the third piece of it. The number one result is to minimize the time I need to spend on anything that isn't strategic business building. So boom, right there out of the gate, what I'm saying is I need you to offload all this stuff from me. To the degree that it's not being offloaded, the job isn't working. I need to be able to be freed up to do what I need to do. Now, freed up to do strategic business building by, and then I still have more bullets. Gatekeeping, communications with me. So I only spend time on communications that require my involvement. A lot of people will reach out to me on a daily basis, but not all of them are things that I'm personally needed to be able to handle or help. So I want this person to do that. Coordinating with team members on designated projects to ensure we stay on track. Again, I take responsibility as the project manager, but in terms of communicating to make sure things are on track, an admin that I hire can do that. Taking over the administration, organization, and implementation of tasks and projects. So again, once we've got something down and we have a process for it, I want them to be able to take it and run with it. Building a library of documented processes that anyone can follow for everything that we do repeatedly. Boom. Again, not only are they documenting their own library or processes, but I want them to manage the library from all the other people as well. So that way we have a whole library of all these processes for every role in the business, every task that can easily be followed. Building an organized library of all business media and assets in a logical way that's easy to access. Okay, we have a lot of multimedia like assets, from graphics to videos to whatever it is, and it's very difficult to keep all that stuff like in one collection in a simple way. So I want them to organize it and put it in a way that makes sense, providing simple summaries and updates of task project status. Okay, so those are basically all of the performance measures that I expect them to be able to do. And again, the number one goal there is to free me up. So that's what they'll be evaluated on. If I'm freed up and I'm able to do the stuff I need to do without intervening a lot with daily stuff, and again, initially, obviously we need to be engaged and involved, but over time, I expect them to be able to run with it. And then the last step is the requirements. You like to create processes for task projects to make everything run efficiently. I don't like doing this. So it's really important that I have somebody who does. So I put that right in the actual requirement to make everything run efficiently, consistently, and smoothly. You're a fast learner. And once you learn, you can do it without being reminded. What I want them to do is go through a mental checklist in their head when they go through the requirements. And if these aren't them, I don't want them to apply. If they are, then I do. Again, this shows leads right back into the other thing. What I'm basically saying is, once I help you understand and learn something, you need to be able to run with it. You have experience with or ability to learn ClickFunnels, drag and drop web page setups. So I don't care if they know it, if they're a fast learner and can be able to do it. You have experience with or ability to learn Google Drive. You have experience with or ability to learn Notion. So again, if they don't have it, that's okay, but they need to be quick. You're a proficient multitasker. You're very organized. I'm not. So I depend on you to keep things organized. I'm honest. I'm sharing with them one of my weaknesses and saying it's why I need you to do it. You love doing new things all the time and staying busy. Some people love that and thrive in those environments. Some people absolutely hate it. They want to do the same thing over and over. So that's why I put it in there. I didn't just say you do it. I said you love it. Because if that resonates with their personality, they're going to love this job. You're looking for a position where you can help a small company grow. Brilliant, right? They have a major role that's important. You pay attention to detail. I don't have time to double check everything. So it's important things get done right. Attention to detail is another huge one. You're dependable. Follow through on all responsibilities and be able to get the job done consistently. Again, I'm basically sharing with them. I'm not going to micromanage. You have a strong work ethic. I need to be able to count on you. So again, someone who's going to come to work, do what's expected of them, and get the job done, because I'm busy and I'm relying on them to be able to do it, and I want all that to be clear up front. You have a positive, can-do attitude and take initiative. I love a positive attitude. I want people to come into work that are happy, that want to go to work, that want to get stuff done. And that's the full description. It might seem like overkill or too much detail, but when we're unclear or we're vague about what we want, we often don't get it. When we dial it in and we get specific, it helps us crystallize our own needs and also target the right person for the job. So the takeaway here is that many people think of outsourcing or hiring freelancers with a casual, sort of no big deal type of mindset. When we do that, the chances that we hire someone who's not the right fit go way up. And then we lose time and money only to have to hire someone else and try it all again. If we spent a few extra minutes and get total clarity on what we want and share that with the candidates up front, we have a much better chance of making great hires that can help us grow faster and easier.